is going on?
A lot's going on, especially during movie news, I believe. But I'm personally doing pretty good. I've had a good day. I'm happy about this week. I'm very excited about this week. We have an upcoming release of The Little Mermaid. Um, and I'm excited to see that because I've been hearing a lot of buzz. Also,
Hmm.
shout out to Sylvia. She's coming into town, one of my best friends. And I'm super, super excited to see her. So, yeah, it's just a week that I couldn't wait to get here. Especially also too because we're getting one step closer, 1 week closer to Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Hmm.
So that's very, very exciting as well. Or across the Spider-Verse, I mean to say.
Yeah,
But how are
definitely.
you doing, Adam?
Can't complain. This is my first week out of school.
Congratulations! All
I am.
A's?
Thank you. 1A for sure. My second professor hasn't given us our grades yet, so I'm a little nervous on that one. Only on that class, only because one the sample size of like the size points of all the assignments were very small, so 1 point if
One
you
point can affect the entire grade.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
I'm a little nervous.
sucks.
I mean, he said that he told us so. If you showed up on the last class, turned in your final video, you're gonna do well in the class. So I'm hoping so, So, but hopefully two A's. Hopefully two A's. Um,
You got this. You
yeah,
definitely can. You passed with flying colors last semester. I'm pretty sure this semester will be equally as good.
I know. I had two A's last semester. I'm hoping for back to back semesters with two A's, so I could boost that GPA. Really, really.
Boasted.
Yeah. But welcome back to Our Real Addiction. This is episode 118. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/at Our Real Addiction. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our Instagram is at Our Real Addiction and our Twitter is at Our Real Pod. You can also follow us on TikTok at Our Real Addiction as well.
And
Also,
share us. Share us
yeah,
with your mama. Share us with your grandparents. Share us with your friends. Please get the word out about this little podcast that we're
definitely.
working so hard on. Please.
But
I'm
yeah,
begging.
no, yeah, definitely. You guys have been killing it in on the YouTube channel. Those who have supported on there, those who haven't, go and check it out. Go subscribe because they're very very soon in 2 weeks, or a week and a half. We have movie news Monday coming out, and then later in June we also have TV Inquiry also coming out. So you're going to want to go subscribe to the YouTube channel because those are going to be YouTube exclusive shows. There will not be any audio portions of those videos. The YouTube only. YouTube only. You want more content? They're going to be YouTube exclusives. Simple as that. Also, too, just want to say thank you on the download side because you guys are killing it with the downloads. Uh, we're at 300. We're at 3,400 plus. We were just at 3,200 plus like 2 weeks ago. So you guys are killing it. Uh, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Once we hit 3,500, we'll do a giveaway. We will do an awesome giveaway for you guys. Maybe we'll have multiple winners. Maybe we'll have three winners. One with a good prize, a decent prize, and then something for the third place winner. Yeah. You guys have absolutely been killing it. We appreciate it so much. But yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that, Adam. We really do appreciate it, and we are so excited. We love hearing feedback as well. I've been hearing a couple things so far. Everyone's been liking the new season, so thank you so 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 much, and we're very very appreciative. And today's episode, we're just covering a couple basic news. We're gearing up again. Of course, we have The Little Mermaid on Friday, and then we have Spider Verse coming up. We won't be reviewing The Little Mermaid until maybe a week or two in, depending on how we fixate the schedule coming up.
we're busy
Uh,
people.
but we will be posting a quick reaction thoughts by Friday, either from myself or from Adam, and we'll get you on that. And you can view that on TikTok as well, um, which is mostly that will be a little bit more that we're going to be channeling into as well, and or any of the reels or stories on the Instagram. So just keep an eye on keep an eye out for us. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have an interesting show for you today. Obviously, over the box office, we have a what was the first topic? Sorry. Oh my goodness, I am blanking.
Well, we have two I'll be taking the lead on, which is an update on the Jonathan Majors kind of like the viewpoint right now, how where things are standing with him
Hmm.
with Marvel specifically. And then we also have an update on HBO now slated Max. I'll be digging in with a couple digging in into an article
One a
that
day
describes
post.
everything that is new. Oh geez, was that me or was that
No, no, that was me. I do apologize.
no worries.
Don't know what
Those
happened there.
no paid sponsorship yet.
Yeah.
But we will be talking about that. Just kind of giving you the ropes about what Max has in store for you, what's new, what's different, why you have to download a new app for it if you already have the HBO Max either on your phone, your tablet, or your iPad, depending whatever it is. Even on your PlayStation gaming service or whatever TV you have. So I will be updating y'all on that. And Adam has a couple news too as well.
Yeah, we have a couple things that it's worth talking about. One being you're gonna if you haven't heard already, you're gonna be able to see the Flash a little early. For those who have already gotten tickets, we're gonna break it down, talk about that a little bit. We also got Sony Showcase. It's the first one in 2 years. We're gonna be talking about what you can expect, and how it's gonna look how it's gonna look compared to the last one they did in 2021. That's gonna wrap up the show. Before we have that, we also have an interesting updated thumbnail from an Amazon Prime movie for a film coming out. If you've seen the IG story, you know what we're talking about. If not, then we're going to be talking about it. We'll inform you on that. But yeah, you want to just go ahead and start with the box office?
Yeah, get into it. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm actually very surprised. I'm also on Box Mojo myself,
mhm.
trying to see exactly, but get into it, man, because I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on this.
All right. So coming in at number 5, we have Evil Dead with $2.4 million. I again still haven't seen it. It's up to $140 million. I'm sure the studio is considering this a success. That it made $140 million. People have been raving about it. Those who've seen it, they praised it for the gore and the blood and how really gruesome this film was. So I mean, I still haven't seen
It
it.
also hands down has one of the best title reveals for a horror movie in the last decade. I like to say I will be first one to say that personally. I think it's
Okay.
fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Coming in at number 4, we have the book club, the next chapter, making $3 million even, bringing the grand total up to $17 million. I don't really have
I'm
any
gonna be
more.
honest, I haven't seen it yet.
Me neither.
However, I think Anna Marie saw it, or she's going to.
No, my mom hasn't seen it yet. She wants to. She really wants to,
Oh,
but
I'm
she
thinking
hasn't.
about Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Yeah,
That's
she
what I'm
saw
saying.
that. She didn't like that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, but coming in at number 3 is Mario, the Super Mario's Brothers with $9.6 million, still at $1.2 billion. Obviously it's slowed down, especially with the next two films that are still absolutely making money. Go ahead.
Guess what? I
You saw it.
actually finally saw it last
Yeah.
night.
What'd you think?
I fell asleep by the third act, but it's only
Wow.
because I had a long day, and also too because I was pretty tired and I was feeling under the weather, so I felt like putting it on. What I will praise on it though was the beginning scene where Mario and Luigi are running to their first ever hiring contracting job. And the cool thing is that it switches from a POV that is like centered on them, and then it goes into a landscape horizontal mode where it just like follows them going through these intricate
Yeah.
like barriers, and it just reminds me so much of the game. And of course, Mario lands like he jumps over a fence and he lands on a pole and he swipes down. You can hear the little like parade. I love those little notes. I will rewatch it just to catch up on the last thing. Um, I did love Peaches, but I thought when he was singing Peaches, I thought he meant bitches. And I think that just adds more to the comedy of this, which I
Peaches,
love.
peaches, 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 peaches. Tell me
Yeah,
that this song is a certified banger, man.
it's already platinum on Spotify.
Is it? Wow. Yeah, I think Anya Taylor Joy as Princess Peach is great. But coming in at
But yeah,
coming in at number two is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, with $32.4 million, bringing the grand total up to $664 million.
we
Obviously,
saw this coming. We saw this
yeah,
coming.
absolutely. Little concerns if it's gonna reach 1 billion. In my opinion,
It
got a
might or
lot
it might
come.
not.
I don't know if it does.
Yeah, I don't.
Got a lot coming out.
Yeah, I think the Little Mermaid will decrease the chances. There's a high expectations on this movie. Everything that has been reviewed by it, early critics, early fan screenings, early screenings themselves have put this movie as one of the best live adaptations since I think someone quoted it as best live adaptation to date, but also best live adaptation since Beauty and the Beast, which personally I did like, but I don't think it was their best.
What's better?
Um, or probably better. Yeah, I
What
just
what
don't
no
think
what
Beauty and
what
the.
what would you say is better than Beauty and the Beast
I don't know
in
if
live
I have
action
any of the
remake?
live adaptations on par with the animations.
Well,
I
yeah.
think. I think I've yet to see one personally. In my opinion, I don't think I will hold anything. Not even the Lion King surpassed my expectations on it, even though it was visually stunning. I just don't see it as one of their best adaptations. And again, I don't. Um, the retelling is nice. I don't know, but I am excited for the Little Mermaid and what that will bring, especially for the soundtrack. I am one of before Halle Berry, Halle Halle Bailey, Halle Bailey was in is Halle and Chloe, you know,
Hmm.
and their album is fantastic, and even their previous album was like great. So to hear their vocals, to hear her, and then also too with the release of the Color Purple trailer, I think this is just the makings of a fine actress, singer, all that stuff. So I'm excited for her specifically, and excited to see the visuals for it as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of stuff coming out. You know, next this week we have oh my gosh, like you said, Little Mermaid. Next week we have Spider Verse. The following week we have two films. I know it's Transformers and there's something else. And later in the month we also have Indiana Jones. There's a lot coming out. It's the summer season. So much is going on. Um,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
seeing it. Oh my God.
yeah, a lot going on.
I'm definitely seeing Rise of the Beast with my nephews because I'm gonna be in Seattle by that date.
Oh, nice.
So I'll
Yeah,
probably
I'm
catch like
pretty.
an early showing with my nephews and try to get them on. That would be really cool. They're also big Transformers guys.
Yeah, Peter.
Shout out to Peter
Yeah,
and
shout out
Gael.
to
Yeah.
Peter. But wrapping up the box office, coming in at number one with no surprise is Fast X with $67 million domestically, for the opening weekend box office. Globally, it made 319, so it did exceed expectations than what it was supposed to. However, it was still one of the lower box offices that that it for the franchise. Currently sits at $323 million. Um, but yeah, that's it for the box office. Um, you want to go and jump right into one of your topics?
Absolutely. Before I get into the hot and heavy topic of Jonathan Majors, I do want to break down a little bit of what's in store for Max, the new streaming service or updated streaming services that include services such as I have it right here. Give me one quick second. Such services as HDTV, the Food Network, Discovery Channel, TLC, ID, which is I think it's Identify, um, Magnolia Network, and other legacy Discovery networks. Basically, this is a new formatted uh, streaming service that is provided by HBO that includes a mixture of almost 35,000 plus hours of programming, uh, which doubles more than what was originally on HBO Max. What you can expect from the Max is more stable performance with a new video playback experience. Max runs on a newly rebuilt code base to provide a more consistent and stable performance across all devices, according to Saexa, who says the merged Max combines the best elements of both HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Discovery Plus was built 2 years ago, so it has a very robust platform. HBO Max had some performance issues. About 50% of Max users existing code from one of the predecessor platforms, while other of the 50% is new. So there's a mixture of new in both. But it's more of a simplified navigation as well as new personalized features and new 4K plans, which include Max is available in 3 tiers, two with the same pricing as HBO Max previous plans, plus a new premium option that includes 4K Ultra HD content and up to 4 concurrent streams. The
Huh.
first one is Max with ads, which is $9.99 monthly, or you can do the $99.99 yearly. Two concurrent streams that include full HD video resolution and no offline downloads, 5.1 surround sound quality. Max ad free, which is $15.99 monthly or $449.99 a year, includes two concurrent streams, which include full HD video resolution, 30 offline downloads, and 5.1 surround sound quality. Now, the ultimate one, which is literally called Max Ultimate ad free, is $20 monthly, $19.99, or $200 yearly, which is 4 concurrent streams, 4K Ultra HD resolution content, 100 offline downloads, immersive audio with Dolby Atmos, may include restrictions in some content categories. The expanded 4K UHD content catalog will comprise more than 1,000 movies and TV episodes, all Warner Brothers. All Warner Brother movie releases release this year and going forward when they arrive on Max following the theatrical windows. So immediately, if it's produced by Warner Brothers, any of that from that studio will be immediately uploaded to Max. And I'm guessing after the theatrical release or during the theatrical release. I need to investigate a little bit. But
Yeah.
there is a more prominent Kids experience, which offers a default Kids profile for new subscribers, along with accompanying parental controls, including the ability to limit content by ratings, to lock access to adult profiles, and to prevent kids from exiting a Kids profile. By default, Kids profiles are set to allow access only to content with PG and TV PG ratings or lower. They also include new download experience for offline viewing, expanded profile avatar icons, which I've already done. My icon is Joel
Oh,
from
nice.
The
Nice.
Last of Us. I had to. I'm actually going to update yours. Instead of Stark, I'm going to put Ellie.
No, it will be changed back. Well, I don't. I don't. You know what's funny? I don't even use yours anymore.
Do you have someone else?
Rob and I have been splitting it for like a year now. Well, that was there's silence.
I need to leave. I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you told me this now. I'm just kidding. No, I'm
I
kidding.
figure. I
I
mean,
totally
like,
don't care. I've given out my. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I am. Screw you, Netflix. I've been giving out my password. You know why? Because I recommend shows to people and I want them to talk to me about it. So I give out my damn freaking password. Yeah, I may have security hacks every now and then, but I changed my password. So whatever. Anyway,
um,
accessibility features at launch. Max will feature 6,500 hours of audio descriptive content that now includes show lifestyle brands like Magnolia, TLC, and HGTV, sorry, as well as the HBO and Max originals. In addition, at launch, Max will support screen reader technology on the web, Roku, Vizio, LG, Samsung, Xbox, PlayStation 5, iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, Android Mobile, Android TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire TV, DirecTV, Comcast, and Cox. So there you have it, folks. This is all by Verity, and was written by Todd Spangler. So thank you for giving us a breakdown on 10 key changes at HBO Max as it relaunches for its new platform.
there's a
So
lot
what are your
to like.
thoughts on this?
There's
Yeah,
a
it's a lot, especially
lot.
now because currently in the middle.
Mhm.
I've been paying, so everything was transcribed over. Originally there was going to be for some subscribers, you didn't have to download again the Max. It was just gonna it was gonna upload on its own.
Mhm.
I wasn't part of that, so I went on my Apple store, downloaded it, and then just to even check first, I went on HBO Max to see, and immediately redirects me to the Max app.
Yeah, that's what happened to
Um,
me as well.
yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. Um, I just don't understand why they would get rid of the brand. I think the HBO is the brand, but then they
Yeah,
decided to just completely change it. I understand though, I guess from a perspective, sometimes you do want to rebrand, but this is I don't know how this is going to affect everything, especially because maybe there's some type of like rights included, especially with all these new you know,
yeah,
channels added on like TLC. So I guess it just think be more diverse in itself. Um,
because
but
it's Warner Brothers and Discovery
yeah,
that are essentially creating Max. I don't understand the whole dropping the HBO because like let's like be entirely honest, like something like a company like Discovery, or I should say a station like a production company I should say, like Discovery isn't on in the same like in the same, I guess, criteria as what HBO is. HBO is a household name. If anything, Discovery should want to be under the HBO brand as opposed to just calling it Max. I think Max just sounds so vague, like, oh, download, watch it on Max,
yeah,
as opposed
it's not
to
catchy. It's not
yeah,
catchy. I think it's not like a something you remember. You're like, oh, like Cinemax, or
yeah,
like, what are you talking about? Or like Max Keeble's big move, because that's what this feels like.
mm-hmm.
It's a big move, but it's not Keeble's. I think it's
Yeah.
just I think it's a reevaluate. I feel like in the future we might get back to HBO. You never know. HBO Max didn't last that long.
It's maybe out what, a year?
I mean, yeah, we'll
Maybe.
give maybe tops.
No, it's been out a longer actually. No, it's been out a couple years because
Because their merger was like a while ago too, right?
what, who did they merge with?
Cinemax.
And that's created HBO Max.
Yeah.
What was
But
HBO Max before
they still
HBO
kept
Max?
their HBO though.
So it has it always? I think it's always been HBO Max then. Who knows? But it's been out.
Yeah.
I know it's been out at least since the pandemic because when the Snyder Cut came out, that premiered on HBO Max. So
That
at
was
least
HBO
two to
Max,
three
huh?
years.
Yeah.
Um, which is what is like that's like a lifetime in streaming content worth.
Oh yeah, everything just it's is happening. I mean, everything should transcribe over to if you already have a plan. I'm currently in the 14.99 plan.
Mhm.
Um Now that I'm thinking ahead, I feel like I should just with everything changing and especially now too, Netflix also announced that they're going to be charging 7.99 for password
Yeah.
sharing, which is
Well,
ridiculous. Like
that's for
that's
the
a
basic
that was
plan.
yeah, but that's the original freaking plan. Like
Yeah.
that's how much it was back then for Netflix to be. Now it's like 9.99 or 15.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
yeah,
it's stupid.
100%. It's the whole this whole notion of not being able to share your password. I mean, Netflix, I understand why they're doing it because of how much in debt they actually are. They're not making as much as what they're putting out each year. However, people continue to invest into Netflix. However, with HBO Max, I mean, it's not a bad thing. What, like, dropping the HBO part. It's just like very just vague. Like, oh, I watch it on the Max streaming service. It's just that's just where I'm just kind of. I feel like the marketing, the name for it just could have been better. Maybe you could have named it HBO Discovery Max. Or maybe HBO. No, I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a marketing manager, so I wouldn't know. Um, but this is what they chose to do. In terms of like them releasing films on there, they've already done that. They did that with a couple films. They did that with the Suicide Squad, I believe. It premiered in theaters and on streaming services. Godzilla was also, I want to say, was also on streaming services as well as HBO. So it's not the first time they're doing it. Um, and I know obviously in the pandemic they were releasing them simultaneously
Yeah.
on their app and as well as movie theaters. But
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Pretty interesting.
Definitely. Do you want to take on the next topic?
Yeah, so this is kind of with Warner Brothers as well. It's a smaller topic essentially, but if you haven't already heard, IMAX is throwing specific early screenings of The Flash. It's going to be on Monday, June 12th or
Yes, June
June.
12th.
Is it
It's a
June 12th?
Monday.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it will be so details on that, just to add a little bit more. You have to actually go to the Warner Brothers website and you have to sign up. If you don't have a Warner Brothers account, do it real quick. It doesn't take that long. All
Well,
it asks is for your
IMAX
name.
posted a link that led to Fandango. So Fandango was also hosting tickets as well. You were also able to
Oh,
get tickets on AMC. That's where I got my ticket. Um, so I
because
was.
on the Warner Brothers, the way I got my ticket
Did you pay
was
for it?
I didn't pay for it. I just signed
Okay.
up, and you show up, and I think it's 112 if you want to get like a free fan showing, which I need to pull up because I know that this just happened.
Did you say 112?
112 tickets, yeah, were available.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Because
yeah, so
I'm seeing it at an AMC. They allowed us to use our A list for it. Um, for it. So I'm
funny
seeing
because
it.
when I tried getting it, it wasn't showing up.
Hmm.
On my at least on my local AMC, it was like, oh, these tickets aren't for sale yet. So
Maybe
here it
that was
is,
for the
actually.
new showing because when you searched it up, you had it. So when it comes to the early screenings, so they won't come under the original screening that are in the coming soon area. You have to search it up, and then that early access will come up to the for the films. So like when they
Okay.
have investors, like for example, I saw Bob's Burgers on the Investor Day, which was like a Sunday, the Sunday before it was actually releasing. I had to search that up to actually go see it. Sometimes they'll do it to if the film is not selling out enough, they will advertise it on the actual app, like where you can see it, just because they want people to show up, they want people to see it early, especially on a Sunday where I don't feel like anybody's going to the movies. Unless
I
it's
think
like a big
it's
like Marvel film. But yeah, the cities obviously included L.A., Seattle, San Diego, Houston, Boston, Nashville, all the big cities that you can think of. They received big. They received a couple showings of for the Flash. So if you haven't already, if you're able to find a ticket, I'd suggest doing it. If you're free on a Monday, I believe the showing's at 7 p.m. Um, for all of them. So I think that's pretty cool. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe maybe
there's a
not.
special cameo. I
Yeah,
feel like there's more of a chance that for that in LA as opposed to down here in San Diego, but you never know.
you
Maybe
never
someone's in
know.
town, but then again, I don't know how I would feel if I saw Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh,
he
hey. If I saw
definitely.
Michael Keaton, I'd be like, yo, what's up?
Uh,
Tell me,
Ezra
tell
Miller
me what's
definitely
the
won't be
move.
showing up. Will not be showing up.
I don't think that man's even allowed at his premiere.
I don't believe so as well. There are there are a couple there are of the I should say the smaller influencers on like TikTok and social medias who were invited, the people who actually cover films and not just the big names who have a bunch of followers. Their showing was a couple of days ago. So the people actually putting who are making content similar to what we do were invited recently. Hey, get us invited
That's
to a movie premiere.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. See, I finally got it. I got it. So there's a special instructions for me. Because so for example, so I have to claim my passes, which I did, and I claimed the pass for 7 p.m. Yeah. So hang on. This is what it's telling me to do.
I would try honestly, I tried going to amc.com and see if you could
Because
actually.
I mean I have it's a verify and everything. Remember when we tried going, well, you saw it, I wasn't able to reach see it, but an early screening of the Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Same concept. So for
Yeah.
me, for that, so for example, disclaimer, uh, so bring this pass with you to the event. IDs will be checked at the door. Pass must be used by pass holder. Disclaimer, arrive early. Seating is first come, first serve, except for members of the reviewing press. Theaters overbooked to assure a full house. Theater is not responsible for overbooking. This pass does not guarantee seating and must be surrendered upon demand. No one will be admitted without a screening ticket, and no one will get it admittance after screening begins except reviewing press. The pass is the property of Warner Brothers Pictures, who reserves the right to refuse, revoke, or limit admission at the discretion of an authorized studio theater representative at any time. I'm just gonna tell them I'm with our real addiction. Like they should know us by now.
uh,
And then this ticket is not for resale. Reselling of tickets is strictly prohibited and punishable by law. Yada yada yada. More fines and stuff to scare you.
yeah.
I might
Um,
even do what you did and just to like verify that I have a ticket, but I'm probably gonna show up like at 6 and just like camp outside.
well, I guarantee you, they're like people are gonna like. There's gonna be a line for it because that's how it was for Suicide Squad. There was a line, and we got there honestly probably about 2 hours before, um, before we were scheduled to see it. It was a it was a pretty good showing. There's a lot of energy in that theater that night. This is gonna be awesome. When the fact that DC is doing this at the essentially at the beginning of their reboot, I think it's such a good idea. Obviously, they believe in the film enough to want to do this. A lot of people are for the people who have seen it, they're liking it. They have said like it's a really good DC film. So I'm pretty excited. I'm very very excited to see this film.
Yeah. Oh, there's like 2 tickets left. I got it. I'm getting it right now just in case.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, I might as well just to be safe, just to be good. Mine showing is at 7:30, so there you go.
I think mine is as well. So I mean, hey, super awesome. If you can reserve an actual like number ticket, like obviously do that for sure.
That would be
Um,
great. Yeah, to get like a
yeah,
physical copy, that would be amazing. So
yeah, no, definitely.
got it. We got it in the bag. Thanks for letting me know, Adam.
Yeah, definitely. Before I hand it back off to you for your last topic, we're gonna move on to another kind of smaller topic of a film coming out next week, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know as of right now if they've changed it, but when I saw it, it was still up there. So there was circulating tweets and TikToks of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's thumbnail on the actual app and website was updated to Miles, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, all on that collected poster. Obviously, we know the only Spider-Man actually into the Spider-Verse is obviously Miles Morales, and then in the trailer, in one of the trailers, Tom Holland Spider-Man is specifically mentioned on Earth 1999. There's been so much speculation that
Of
they're
course.
they're in this film.
I mean,
I like it
there was
feels
a
like they
little bit of
are.
there was a little bit of like a saying that like, and don't get me started with that kid from Earth 99999.
Yeah,
I mean, it's into this across the Spider Verse. Why wouldn't they?
yeah. I mean, because
It's all yeah.
you have it's confirmed you have Spider-Man PS4. We have the original Spider-Man from the 1990s. We have I think Spider-Man 2000, the one or 2099, the one with the original web wings, and it was like an alternate universe way into the future. We're getting like there's just so much. There's so much going on. Like it's hard to believe they're not again. It's a little different because we had all the leaks with No Way Home, and it was kind of like maybe they're fake, but maybe they're real.
Yeah, and then you have Andrew Garfield lying for his life.
Exactly. And now you have a
um,
thumbnail with promotional art on them, with them in a film that's already been out 5 years.
it could be a publicity stunt. It could be, hey, look, we know how hyped you guys got for Far From Home. Get hyped for this one too, because believe it or not, there's some people that haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
And that's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, are they doing this because
Yeah.
when you put it on a streaming service, that's gonna appeal, as opposed to just Miles Morales as Spider-Man. You now
Yeah.
see the MCU and you see the original Sony Spider-Man.
And you're also getting people that like are fans of the game
Exactly.
who are also fans of the
Well,
or
those who are fans of the game, the Spider-Man PS4, have seen every single Spider-Man film.
of course.
So the game is like those who have like played the actual like who are bigger than who are actual Spider-Man fans as opposed to just like the casuals who want to see it for Toby or Andrew or now even Tom Holland. What are your thoughts? Do you think that we're gonna see Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield
It would be
in?
amazing to see them in there,
Yeah.
110,000%, because that's incredible. I think also they wouldn't shy away from it. They would also, because I feel like as Spider-Man, they love those films. They would love that film too, especially because it's integrating everything that they've had previously in their movies as well. Like they're
Mhm.
not unrecognized; they're actually canon in this world.
Yeah.
So to have them be part of this, new up and comer Miles Morales, who I think is fantastic. It's great, and I think it'd be integral for Miles too.
To meet them,
Absolutely.
I think it'd be awesome. I'd have no complaints. I mean, I'd be just as excited as I was when Andrew Garfield came out of the portal in No Way Home. I got
Yeah.
another question for you. Does it make No Way Home feel a little less special, considering like that's what realistically should maybe be a once in a lifetime
No, because
encounter?
no,
It's a little
I don't
different,
think.
right?
I
Like
think it's like it's more. It's like if we ever had any, like if we were left wanting more from Far From Home, then we're getting this. But I think it's much more of a different excitement just because it's not MCU. It's like it's very different, but it still has the hype that the MCU provides. It's
yeah,
just in a very more special and frequent way because we did get kind of like a Spider Verse. I mean, we got into the Spider Verse where we got to meet Spider Man Noir, where we got to meet Spider Pig, where we got to meet different variations of Peter Parker or Spider Man that
hmm
we didn't know as either, you know, regular moviegoers or people that are fans of the comics, or I mean, obviously they didn't know, they knew, but in it just focusing that it's Spider-Man, not just like Peter Parker, if that makes
hmm
sense. So
no,
that
100%.
I think has its own heart in its own, because we know from the movies who Peter Parker and Spider-Man is. This is a whole different this is a whole different realm. And
Yeah,
also too, it just gives like a showing of like this is how a multiverse is done.
I agree. I agree. You said it really really well. Um, I think yeah, it plays on the idea that you can have all these other characters, especially someone like Oscar Isaac, who does already exist into the MCU, but can possibly play two characters into the MCU.
Of course,
Like
yeah.
I feel like it's not far fetched. It also, in my opinion, gives the opportunity of like someone like Jake Johnson who voices Peter B. Parker an opportunity to go over to the live action, because like let's
Yeah.
be real, they're gonna want to do another live action Spider Verse film. Because that's essentially what No Way Home was. Without all the characters. That's essentially what it was. Without all the Spider-Man, I should say. They want to do that again, live action. I think they would want to do it bigger in terms of like, hey, we want to have Andrew, Toby, and Garfield included in all of it, and obviously the film, and have it centered, focused around them. But hey, let's move over Miles Morales, which I believe his name is. I always forget his name. I don't want to mispronounce it though. Um, Shamik
The
Moore.
the, the
You
voice
know,
actor? Yeah.
yeah, Shamik Moore. We want to have Jake Johnson. Hey, we also want to have Haley Steinfeld come over and play a live action version of Spider Gwen. Hey, let's bring back Nicolas Cage or Chris Pine. Obviously Chris Pine's Spider-Man is dead, but still, it's just like it gives opportunity for these characters who are playing voice actors to move over to live action, whether it's for one film, whether for it's in like for a big event like Avengers Secret Wars. It also gives opportunity, in my opinion, for Andrew, Toby, and Tom to also reprise these roles and give more entries in a less demanding way, where they can show up to a studio and record maybe a day worth. You like to take a day out of your schedule, even if you're not filming anything. It gives them opportunity to come out and film for a day and do all their lines for an entire film, an entire animated film that's already big. whether they have a small role or they have a big role, it just gives opportunity for them to build onto their legacy and make it feel more interconnectedness, like you said, with that showing how the multiverse does work. I think that it would work really well because again, it's less demanding. You're demanding really all their voice is their voice.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty exciting if they are in it. I would love for them to be in it. Kind of feels like they are, like, because in my opinion, you just don't have that thumbnail just pop up out of nowhere. Maybe it popped up a little too early. Maybe somebody's losing their job over this,
Oh,
or
that's happened before. People have accidentally leaked. I mean, remember when Mark Ruffalo pranked Tom Holland to reveal the the poster for Endgame?
well, that was 100%. That was something they like
That was
worked. Yeah,
intentional, but it was
yeah.
hilarious
No,
because
yeah,
obviously Tom Holland was notorious for spoiling things.
yeah.
So is Mark Ruffalo during the premiere.
Of Thor Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah, of the Ragnarok. So, it's a good way of play, but at this moment, it's either us to decide whether this is a PR stunt or whether this might be hinting for the inclusion of all Spider-Men
Yeah.
in the Cross Spider-Verse.
No, yeah, definitely. I think part of me does feel like it is intentional just to get buzz around it. Mainly because I think they want this film making serious money. They want it making it well into the $700 or $800 million, and I think it really has a really good chance too. Because I feel like a lot of people are more excited for this one than they were for the first one. Just because I feel like Into the Spider-Verse had that second stretch, that second leg after it was released and people actually saw it when it became available to streaming services and they were finally able to appreciate it. Um,
Yeah,
but
100%. Because I think it was at the dawn around the corner of the pandemic when this happened, right?
oh well, when Into the Spider-Verse came out, that's 2018. That was 5 years ago.
Oh my
Um,
God, jeez.
it's been on streaming services for years though, and I think people started to really watch it. But let's go ahead and move on to your topic. This is again. This is MCU related. Well,
This is
Marvel
MCU,
related.
so
Yeah,
pretty good segue, honestly.
yeah.
This article is brought to you by Christopher McPherson is
Mhm.
by Collider.com, and it's titled Marvel reportedly changed all their plans due to Jonathan Majors' performance in Loki. I think that was a pretty good fight because I definitely chewed reading this article. Basically, um, what is centered around this, and it's just kind of just giving a insightful view from the studio's perspective on Jonathan Majors. Um, and it's quoted as begins as speaking. So the question is, how did Marvel hang their hat on Jonathan Majors, right?
Mhm.
Speaking on the Ringer's Big Picture podcast, writer and author of the upcoming book MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios book, Joanna Robinson has claimed that during her work, she was told it was never the intention to make Kang the center of the MCU, but that Major's performance changed everybody's minds. Robinson, a senior writer for Vanity Fair with a long history of writing exclusive Marvel pieces for the magazine, spoke at length about how Majors gave them a creative change of approach before scoring a massive own goal. She states, I was told by someone who works for Marvel it was not the plan to make Kang the center of everything until they saw the dailies from Quantum Mania. And after his performance in Loki, which was so strong, they were like, this is it. This is our way forward. We've lost our varsity hero team, but let's set up around this guy, King, and this performer that so many people are reacting to. We know this is a huge problem for them that they are facing and grappling with right now. And what's unprecedented in this for Marvel is, I would argue, they have never hung so much of a franchise on one actor as they try to hang it on Jonathan Majors after his Loki performance and his Ant-Man Quantumania performance. I would argue more than Downey as Iron Man, more than Brolin as Thanos, that hanging everything on this guy is then going to pop up in all of their properties leading up to something called the Kang Dynasty, has put them in a very unusual position. They don't usually hang this much on one person in the way that they did here, and that has put them in the bind. We do not know what they are going to do. I've heard conflicting stories about they are just going to replace him. They're not even considering replacing him, etc., etc. But it's just one more thing. And it just concludes with Majors has denied all charges leveled against him to date, but the latest trailer for the second season of Loki didn't include him, despite the sting at the end of Quantumania focusing on the character. Loki season 2 will be scheduled for a release in October. What are your thoughts on this?
First things first.
That
One thing I love about her quote is her mentioning we've lost our varsity team. Okay, we lost our Iron Man, we lost our Cap, we lost Black Widow. We've lost majority of it. We've got Thor and we got half a Hulk left, and Hawkeye, who
and
is
She-Hulk, but
well from our original Avengers.
from the OG, yeah.
And we have Hawkeye, but we also don't know the state of Jeremy Renner's condition if he's going to be able to play the role. So let's just say we're down him as well. So we got half a Hulk and we have Thor, who we don't know what Thor's doing.
Yeah,
so
we don't. I don't think he knew what he was doing in Love and Thunder either. But
yeah,
I
sorry,
it's a great. It's. I mean, I think it was such a risk to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
If obviously clearly they should have sat this down, because that's a lot of pressure as well. Granted, yes, we were on the hype train for Jonathan Majors, but now with these allegations, it's rocky.
Of
And
course.
if we've learned anything from Depp versus Amber Heard and the people, is that there are always two sides to a story, but it's still a bad look.
Of
I
course.
mean, just recently they were trying to get Brie Larson to comment on Depp and his involvement with a upcoming movie
Oh, that she produced, right?
that she produced, or has an affiliation with the producers, and she handles it pretty well. But
Completely
off the
out of
bat,
left field.
You can tell that the comment and the question was out of left field, and that they're just trying to get or produce some type of gossip for them to kind of tarnish either her name or the affiliation she's in. It's everything, like it's piranhas right now. I want to say.
In terms of like the Brie Larson thing, obviously I've criticized Brie Larson a lot in this film or in the MCU, but to come and attack the actress personally, like in something like that, is something, in my opinion, it makes no sense, especially when you're doing press for a different film. You're reaching for something for people like us who watch the clips of them doing press tours and have seen the way they respond. You're trying to get a clip like that for us to ultimately dislike her even more, or not saying I dislike. I don't dislike Brie Larson. I dislike Captain Marvel. Just so there's a complete difference. Just so there's a completely understanding. But to circle back into this Jonathan Majors situation, she mentions how she would argue more that they are centering the MCU around Jonathan Majors than they are with Iron Man and Thanos. She's 100% right in this quote, because the MCU was essentially leading to Iron Man versus Thanos, or the Avengers versus Thanos with Iron Man leading the charge. That is ultimately what they were leading to. However, Iron Man's story, it isn't fully Iron Man's story, because you have that connection of the Guardians to Thanos, to Thor knowing about Thanos before he's coming. It's just like the Avengers being broken up, leading to why they lose in Infinity War. And even Thanos, having this buildup, we haven't seen him. We saw him. We saw him at the end of Avengers, the first one, and then we see him in a small cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we see him in a bunch of after credit scenes. She's 100% spot on. Marvel had said, Marvel had shown us, we are going all in on Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Why? Because of what we saw from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, do not get me wrong. Had there been no allegations with what happened with Jonathan Majors, 100%, that is the right decision to go, the right way to go. a little concerning because then it makes me to believe that they are going to alter the story of Secret Wars, which essentially the story of Secret Wars is when they fight God Doom. Because how do you have him go and be the only one main villain of the Kang Dynasty, and then you're going to jump over to God Doom a year later with essentially little to no build up, because that is going to be on your back burner in all the other films and all the other projects when it comes to building another big bad. That's why Thanos works so well, because he was the plan from the beginning, and he was the plan at the end of our original story, at the end of the first book, as how I should word it. Thanos was the first villain, but he is the most impactful. He is the one we're always going to remember because he is the first. He is the first one to kill a main Avenger.
Who did he kill?
He kills he's in the result environment. Well, he kills Cap, but Cap comes back to life. So it's just like there was so much cause and effect with Thanos. We haven't really seen this from Kang just yet. They are still planting those seeds with Kang.
I think it was just the big. I think they should have focused. I mean, I understand that they're focusing on the character.
Mm-hmm.
But to make him like the integral focus completely, I think that's kind of hard. If anything, what is the lead guy's name? What's the observer, the watcher, right?
Yeah.
They should bring him into the mix.
It would have been interesting had they told the MCU from his perspective, something seeing over, and it leads to the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, where he has to finally intervene with what's going on. He has to fight alongside the Avengers. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too educated to know if he does that in the comics. But I think it'd be interesting from a standpoint to where it's just like you have somebody telling us our story. It's a little different. It's a little cooler. He's in the background of all of our shots in the MCU that require big landscapes or in the big, like, let's just say, for example, he showed up in every single background of every final battle. Doesn't that feels very more connected, right? If he's showing
Absolutely. I think did you finish the first season of What If?
Yes, yeah. There's that scene specifically.
He technically does, like, he pulls from different universes and makes his own galaxy. What is it called? The Galaxy Avengers? Or the Guardians of the Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah, there you go. The Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah. And then there you go, trying to defeat Ultron. Like that, an iteration of that and the big screen would be amazing. And it probably would be a better sell point, especially when you're gonna hopefully include the X-Men in the future, as well as the Fantastic Four, and then possibly bring in God Doom as your big bad next.
100%. I think that would have worked better, because then you can emphasize on the multiverse part, and we don't need to know where everything is lined up if the Watcher is the one in charge of, or if we are viewing these films in the point of the view of the Watcher. If that makes sense. Because like the way I think about it like this is, if like, for example, like the actor playing the Watcher, what is his
the voice actor's name?
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm looking it up right now.
Is it
Jeffrey Wright? There we go. Yeah. So Jeffrey Wright. If they had him show up in all of the MCU, like you say, in all of the MCU projects, him just showing up, or him just doing an after credit scene of just saying, like, where he's just overlooking what the events of what happened. We don't need to understand the multiverse, and we don't need to know where everything is placed, because of the fact, hey, at the end of it, he's gonna be like, oh shit, Kang is kind of becoming a problem here. I need to pull the best of the best from every single universe. And now suddenly you can pull characters who aren't in the MCU but are in Marvel universes who are own projects. For example, like the X-Men. You don't need to recast the X-Men if you already have a cast, which you do. Who you have
Twice.
exactly. You have two lineups. You have two lineups of the X-Men. You can literally, and then what again, same thing with Secret Wars. Oh shit. And then I think would be another cool point to write into it is like, oh shit, the Watcher, maybe he's what caused the incursions. Like, oh crap, because I pulled everything from different universes, now I have these two worlds fighting each other because of the fact I chose to stop Kang, but my actions of Kang, of pulling all the best heroes from each and every universe, has now resulted in Battle World. And now Doom being aware of this, I think it'd be awesome too to bring Ultron back just because of what if continuity.
Just sounds like we're storyboarding right now. Exactly. I feel like right now James Gunn is storyboarding Superman. We're doing the same thing, but trying to fix an issue that the Marvel Cinematic Universe studio heads decided to be like, oh.
Yeah, because like for example, the reason why I say it would probably work with the Watcher is because essentially, I don't want to say he has no importance to the story. The importance is that we're seeing the story through him. We're seeing it through him. He's overseeing. He's trying to keep the balance of all these multiverses.
And in a sense, it breaks the fourth wall to the point where even the audience is included in it.
Yeah,
you know, they've been there as well as the Watcher. If anything, we're all watchers. Of course, we are.
Yeah,
we've seen the events of this movie played out in the last decade, and now we're trying to figure out what's going to happen in the next.
And what is more meta than that? Than to be like, hey, we're viewing it like, yes, the Watcher is a character and we're seeing it from his perspective, but the whole premise is that the whole running, I guess, gag on it would be like, we are the Watcher. The fans are the Watcher. You guys are the character. We're watching everything from the perspective of the fan. Again, hey, Kevin Feige, if you want to change it and steal that idea, why don't you say go ahead? It's free. It's on the house. It's on the house. It's on the house of our real addiction. Okay.
I'm
a fan. I want
sponsorship. And we need a collaboration with you. We also need passes for early screenings moving forward. Obviously,
we'll give 10 out of 10s on all of them if you just invite us.
No, we will be honest because this is what we do. But
will we though?
We will be.
I mean, if
we have to be, because then that's when we're like non-professional. If we just dick ride the damn MCU, it's not gonna happen. Like we won't be like we won't be fresh.
Yeah.
But there's a bribe. No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah, of course. No, yeah. But yeah, I 100% agree. Like it's pretty interesting. Just like, it's kind of tough, especially because like I feel like Jonathan Majors at the end of the day, he rose to like excitement of this villain, so quickly because we saw him in Loki, then we saw him in Quantumania, and then a month later we saw him in Creed. People were high on him.
We were, since Lovecraft Country, I was a fan. I am still a fan of these allegations. Proved to be wrong.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm not gonna say if they're right. Yeah, I'm gonna still be a fan. It just sucks because we're in the age of cancel culture.
Yeah, I think too. It's just like, unfortunately, at the end of the day, people make mistakes. It doesn't mean he can't get help.
What he has to do now is find another manager.
Yeah.
To get him out of this rut.
Yeah.
But it's so high and heavy, right? It's too high. It's too high and heavy. What sucks is that, as this article states, he's at the heart of the MCU right now. So this is coming from inside the house.
They're in a pickle. That's really what it is. They're in a rough spot right now. Like the quote said, it's just like they are centering around one specific character more than they've done with Iron Man and Thanos. And I 100% agree with that. They were all in on Majors. And it was clear. It was clear that they were all in on him.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on that?
I think I'm with you. I really hope the reports aren't true with what Jonathan Majors is doing. I think from this standpoint, in all honesty, if I'm Marvel, just keep him. Like
Do you
he
think it's better to recast?
no, because it's not gonna feel like it's just gonna take away from Avengers Kang Dynasty and what you've already built with him and the establishment that he's already built. He has proven that he doesn't mess around. He will come and destroy the Avengers. You need to. I think you just need it's a lose-lose situation. It doesn't matter what Marvel chooses. It's not going to be the right decision until he's proven innocent. And if for whatever reason he is guilty, then maybe you go about casting. But until there's any information that he is innocent or guilty, you can't recast, in my opinion. Plus, two, we have him in Loki already, and we know that it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough that you're gonna recast. It's a little different with Thanos, because Thanos only had a cameo in Avengers before they recasted him to Josh Brolin. So it's a little different of a situation. You have hyped up Jonathan Majors, and you have said Jonathan Majors is your centerfold, and he is going to be the center. And then again too, then you have that after credit scene with the Kang Council, and it's all Jonathan Majors. His face is plastered over the MCU. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that concludes this episode, I believe. I don't have any more final thoughts on this comment, on this thing.
I got one more for you, actually.
Oh, let's go.
We have the PlayStation Showcase.
Oh, shoot. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's all good. All good. So Sony, the owner of PlayStation, is having a showcase actually today. If you're listening to this episode, it's happening on May 24th. It happens at 1 p.m., so it's dropping 2 hours after this episode will be live. I'm gonna be watching it at work. I will not lie. But this is the first one they're doing in over 2 years. The last time they did it, they had showcases for big moments for games such as God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, the Wolverine, and obviously a lot more. So here's the thing. Fans of PlayStation are going to be disappointed if there is nothing that has to do with Spider-Man 2. It's like the talk of the town. People are saying they're expecting Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, for this, and they're gonna confirm the release date. They're gonna confirm the pre-orders, all in this. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of expect them too. It kind of feels like everything is kind of like being overshadowed because of Spider-Man 2. Expected to drop this year. They want a lot of information on it. A lot of God of War fans are also speculating a spin-off with the son Atreus. I know you haven't played it, but if you played
you mentioned it though.
No, yeah. But so in the new God of Wars, Kratos has a son. His name's Atreus, and essentially, they're expecting a spin-off with him because what he's going to be doing, basically at the end of the game, of the newest game, Ragnarok, he leaves the story. He leaves Kratos to go and do his own adventure. They kind of want to see a spin-off of that. When you do spin-offs, it's a little different. They come out faster because they're using a lot of the mechanic and a lot of the engines that the original games, that the games before them did. Used as well. That's why it was so easy for them to have Marvel's or Spider-Man Miles Morales come out because 2 years later, because it was kind of like a copy and paste just in Miles Morales or just in Miles Morales' point of view, but just obviously it was winter and he had his own missions. It was a shorter game, but people are essentially expecting something similar to Sony doing that. It would be Santa Monica who would be creating that. But
very interesting. Do you think they're going to be dropping some gameplay from Spider-Man 2 if it is Spider-Man?
I would have to assume, because all we have is that one trailer.
And it's just a teaser, right? Yeah. It's not the full story mode.
Yeah, they're going to have to do it soon.
When was that released, by the way? Was it the beginning of the year?
No, that was released at the last press conference.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because they did it with the Wolverine bar what you call it? Bar fight.
Oh, that's right.
It was
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
back to back.
Wait, did that game ever drop?
Nah, it's confirmed for I believe 2025.
Oh,
Um
yeah, that was something I was excited for too. And then I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah. The last thing on on the biggest thing that a lot of people are speculating is the announcement of the PS5 Pro. So there have been rumors for like 2 years now, or probably for the better half for the probably for about a year and a half now, that Sony wants to do a PS5 Pro where it's going to have a detachable disk drive. So you're going to have the option that if you're going to be it's going to be a higher price console, but you are going to have the option of if you want it digital or if you want the disc. I believe I've talked about this on the podcast before. It's been a rumor for a while, and there's also speculation that that's going to be premiered tomorrow or today, I should say, at
Damn it,
the
I just
PlayStation
got a
showcase.
PS5.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: you would have been paying more for it just to have the option to choose whether your
Also, I'm not
PlayStation.
that big of a gamer. I game, but I'm not like on it all the
I feel
time.
like this is the most you've gamed though in a while,
I
which
haven't
is
gamed
pretty cool to like
since
see.
like 2000. I think maybe when I was in high school or a little after high school when I was like big on Uncharted 4 when that released.
Hmm.
And then I hadn't really game, and then during the pandemic I was gaming, but I was just like replaying Uncharted 4
Hmm.
and Resident Evil 2 because that's when the remake came out around the time. So I finished that, but now yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not like a big gamer. I definitely suck at video games now. It's really, really sad.
Here's the thing though, it's just like video. If you play video games now compared to like what they were like for example, like what Uncharted 4 was pure action video gaming. It was pure fun. You do tasks, you do stuff. If you play something like God of War, even maybe not Jedi Survivor, I haven't played it yet. But even Hogwarts Legacy, they are all cinematic experiences now.
They
They're
are, yeah,
very
they're getting more cinematic, and I think that's an
Mhm.
impact from games such as God of War, as well as Uncharted and The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, for
I think
sure.
The Last of Us was the pivot because The Last of Us did something where it was an entire cinematic experience from beginning to end, with of course some gaming in between, but it was a movie. It was a
Yeah,
story. And I think now games are doing that, borrowing influences from The Last of Us and applying it to their own thing. Even with the Resident Evil remakes, they've gotten even more cinematic as opposed to being more dimensional, where you just have to get to point A to point B, solve a couple puzzles along the way, and then fight your big bad.
yeah,
Now there's reactions like Leon being like, what is this? What's going on? Oh, it's gross. God, it smells in here. Like it's all these reactive keys with the remakes that are just making the video game more of an experience. And I
hmm
think it's what uh the best way I can put it is like we get the animation from Disney and then we have a live action from Disney, but the live action is underwhelming. And then with video games, it's like still on par. Like you get much more of an like enticing video game experience as opposed to watching it. So that's
yeah.
exciting. But what is the price point for the PS5 Pro?
So obviously there's no confirmed price. I'm assuming they would be confirming it later today. But I would have to assume that it's gonna be more than $500. If you're gonna have if you're gonna have detachable hardware, you're gonna need that hardware to be expensive, and you're gonna be able to need it to like for its durable as opposed to like it's going to be easy to snap in and out for those who want to do that attachment or detachment. You're going to have to use hardware that won't break if you accidentally put it in the wrong way, because when you put together like a computer or you put together like any sort of laptop, if you wrongly place one prong, you're out like probably $300 to $400. And it's just like, and I'm sure even you can talk to like Brian, if you misplay or if you miss if you wrongfully install like a CPU, you're kind of screwed out of that CPU. Everything has to be placed perfectly. Something like this, that's a little different because people who make PCs know what they're doing. If you're going to be selling a console to people who do not know how to detach hardware like that, you're going to need to make it very, very expensive so that there is a lot of room for error for those who won't know how to detach it or won't know how to properly install it as a choice. I don't know if that makes sense. Um,
More or less, but I totally understand because Brian like just rebuilt his computer and he spelled almost like 2 grand.
yeah.
Sorry, did not mean to.
No, no, but
Sorry.
in all honesty, like
Yeah,
two
but it's
grands,
expensive.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'll admit that's on the higher end to like he's probably putting a lot into the stuff he's making. He does a lot of video games, so it makes sense. He's investing so that he doesn't have to invest for a long time. If you're building like an $800 computer or like a $500 computer, you're gonna have to replace that in like a year or two. In all honesty,
Yeah, he
um,
was telling me that every year there's like new and automated things that get added on.
yeah,
All these all these little modifications to like make like screen resolution like brighter and heavier and like all these things. Like he did a compare and contrast with my PS5 with like its mechanics versus what he just installed in his, and it's like slightly better in terms of like resolution
yeah,
and like detail, like even in the walls. From like he went like so he went on his computer in Hogwarts Legacy, went to a specific location, turned on the PS5, went to Hogwarts Legacy, went to the exact same location and took pictures and compared and contrast, and the difference are there,
yeah.
and that's pretty impressive. But I mean, they are pretty similar. There is just a bit of a higher resolution there, and it's like this much. So if you care about that high extreme resolutions, and maybe the PS5 Pro might be up your alley.
You're definitely gonna get more of the hardware of like where you're gonna be able to stream regularly in 4K. You're gonna be able to play games more frequently in 4K and 8K because the PS5 supports that. However, not all games support that. So I'm sure Sony is working on getting that 4K installed. Remember too, another thing that has to do a lot with it is the output you're putting it onto a computer, or if it's a monitor or a TV. Those also have to have supported 4K. You're not going to be able to stream something in 4K if it doesn't offer that. Just because your console offers it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get that on a TV that you've had for 3 years. 3-4 years. So it's just like the pro is always like anybody who doesn't have it, this is for you. If you haven't bought it now, if you haven't bought a PS5 now, you're gonna be buying the Pro. The crazy thing is, the stock on the PS5 is absolutely amazing. You can still find it. You can find them anywhere. They're all in stock at Best Buy. You can get them at Target. Obviously, they're still gonna sell the lower models. But your most bang for your buck is probably gonna be getting the Pro. As of right now, if you haven't already bought in a PS5. But
Absolutely.
you ready to close this out?
Yeah, definitely sign us off.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to episode 118 of Our Real Addiction. Again, do not forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@OurRealAddiction. Again, we got multiple shows coming in June. We have Movie News Monday coming June 5th on Monday. Monday, June 5th, obviously, hence the name Movie News Monday. And then later in June, we don't have a confirmed release date yet, but we will soon. We have TV Inquiry hosted by Miguel. They're coming soon. Again, those are going to be YouTube exclusive shows. If you have not subscribed and you want more content of season 3 of Our Real Addiction, that's where you're going to find it. At least for right now, we're keeping it exclusively to YouTube so that you have to go over there. Again, also too, once we hit 3,500 downloads, we'll do some sort of giveaway for at least one person, one winner.
Nah, get us to 4 grand.
Well, okay,
We're
hey,
ambitious.
yeah.
We're definitely getting to 4,000 before the end of the year. I guarantee it. I feel it. It's happening.
We will definitely be at 4,000 by the end of the year. Without a doubt. But Yeah, again, guys, thank you for the support. You guys are absolutely killing it. Those who are supporting on YouTube, you guys are killing it. If you aren't supporting on YouTube, go there now. Go subscribe. Come on.
Yeah,
We're
thank
waiting.
you.
I'm going to wait 10 seconds here for you to go subscribe to youtube.com/@ourrealaddiction.
Please.
Go do it. Are you not?
Held hostage.
Yeah. Hey, this is a 24-hour podcast now until you subscribe.
Oh my God, please.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, hey guys, again, please go subscribe. It's gonna be worth it all soon. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. As always, I'm Adam.
And I'm Miguel.
This was episode 117 of Our Real Addiction, Sick Parvis Magna.